Hello, everyone, and welcome to this first Instagram Live. We are here talking today about Lebanese food and recipes with a good friend, Joseph Asaf. My name is Jessica Poholsky. I am the creator of Once Upon a Pesto. Thank you to those who are joining. And I'm going to invite our friend Joseph here up on the stage. So let's go ahead and I'll do a quick intro here. He is currently living in Germany. And for those of you who aren't familiar with where Lebanon is, it is in Western Asia. And if you think of Europe, Africa, and Asia, it's kind of at that intersection of the three. So really fascinating country and also fascinating food. So welcome, Joseph. How are you today?
Hello, Jessica. Can you hear me well?
I can. Thank you for joining today.
Yeah, hello everyone. Well, it's a kind of an excitement for me. It's the first time I do a live on Instagram. I think it's the same for you. So it's like fun, weird, excited. So it's a mixed feeling. So
Awesome. And I see in the background there you have the flag. Tell us a little bit about your country.
yeah, exactly. Welcome again, everyone. It's I try to put our Lebanese flag in the background. So since the topic of this discussion will be about Lebanon and its culture, yeah, as Jessica introduced, we're in west side of Asia. It's like right in the middle of the Mediterranean basin. It's an intersection between Europe, Asia, and Africa, North Africa. Lebanon is a great country with multiple cultures that have passed through times. You know, years and years, a lot of civilization came in and went out. And that, let me target directly to the chase, to our topic, food. That's why it makes our food special, because of these different civilizations, different cultures. You know, usually you tend, after each civilization, you tend to catch something out of it. So what if through the years you got like more than 6, 7, 8 civilizations that came and conquered that land? So they leave something behind, whether from construction material. Now I speak with my architectural cap because initially I'm an architect, or food or anything else. So yeah, I'm coming from Lebanon and now I have relocated. It's been like more like a year or so to Germany. And you know, like everyone else, since you move and you live now by your own, it's my responsibility to start cooking. So I didn't study anything about food. It's just a passion I have. I like to cook. And yeah, it started like that, because or else I would starve. So
Yeah, and a lot of the people watching here today joining, thank you for joining everyone as you're coming in. Everyone has a passion for cooking, whether it's, scrolling through Instagram to find good recipes or doing it yourself, learning about other cultures. So everyone, is a pro in their own sense. And Joseph, it's so great to have you joining us, over in Germany right now. You're 6 hours ahead and talking
yeah.
about your home country, Lebanon. And so tell me, living in Germany and you've also studied in Spain and London, what is it about Lebanese food and the recipes that you grew up with that, makes it unique compared to these other countries' food?
Yeah, well, first of all, because I passed through different countries throughout my studies and my professional career, so it helped me a lot to see different cultures, and I was always amazed because in every country that I go there, I always discover that Lebanese food is somewhere. You cannot not find hummus, for example. You know, everyone knows and love that dip. It's that simple dip, yet it's like it's heartwarming. Literally, that's the feeling that we have in our food. So Lebanese food is a culture in itself. It's a celebration of life. That's the sentence that you would find on the internet and everywhere, because it is like that. It's fresh, it's colorful. We use a lot of vegetables,
Mm.
like seriously. And in the majority of our food, you see a lot of like zucchinis, eggplants, cucumber, tomatoes, a lot. And in parallel, we work a lot with stews. So everything it's a stew for us: chicken stew, meat stew, zucchini stew, anything that you like, it will become a stew. So, and in parallel, on the other side, it is always served with rice. And our rice is a bit special. Why? Because it's white rice, white American long grain rice. Basmati is known as basmati as well. That's the majority of time we use it. And we add some vermicellis. You know, vermicellis are like small noodles. you fry them with butter at first for like 2 to 3 minutes because they would be fried very directly. And you put on the rice and you cook it on medium to low heat for like 10 minutes till the rice is cooked. And in the end, you will see, like, if you notice on my Instagram page, you can check the rice how I made it. It's the white rice and these small yellow golden noodles. It's amazing. That's the Lebanese rice. That's how we prepare it.
Wow.
And it comes every time in parallel with any main dish. The main dish again could be a chicken stew, a meat stew. We use a lot of poultry, basically chicken, as I told you. In terms of meat, when we want to make the stew, because it takes time to be cooked, then we target red meat. And most of the time, the kind of meat we target are like lamb or goat. That's the majority of the time. That doesn't mean that we don't use other stuff, but the majority of time it's lamb or goat. And in the poultry, it's chicken. So yeah, again, actually, while I was preparing for what we might speak today, I have noticed that I know that Lebanese food is something healthy. Like any different culture, any food is healthy. But I have found out that Healthline, and it was the news for me, puts Lebanese food as number 10 in the whole world as the healthiest food.
Wow.
And that was for two factors. The first factor is like by the ingredients that we use, as I told you, we use a lot of vegetables. And number two is by the way we prepare that food. So how we simmer the food, the stews in itself, because you let it simmer, you let it evaporate, you cook on slow to medium heat. So it brings a lot of the whole vitamins of the vegetables. It goes out, it's homogeneous. Instead of having an heterogeneous main dish, it will become an homogeneous one. And that's something that was recognizable, and I didn't know about it before. I thought that, yeah, because I'm Lebanese, I like it, but no, it seems that it's a fact.
That's great. So neat to know. Everyone tries different diets, whether it's keto or the Whole30, but here the food that you grew up with is naturally healthy. Would you consider it a Mediterranean cuisine, Joseph?
Yeah, well, of course, it's a Mediterranean cuisine. You can find similarities, and we call it le bassin méditerranéen in French, which is the Mediterranean basin, which is north of Africa, actually north of Egypt to Jordan, Palestine, Lebanon, and Syria, that area. You will find common cuisine. So definitely every country is distinguished, but most similarly, again, we use a lot of rice. That's our distinction. And a lot of stews. So the core foods of the Lebanese include lamb, chicken, fish, yogurt. We use a lot of yogurt. We call it laban. Laban, it means like the Greek yogurt that you could find in the supermarket. And this yogurt could be mixed with rice, could be mixed with the stews. Like yesterday, I prepared a cracked wheat. We call it burghul. I don't know if you're familiar with the initial name. It's cracked wheat. And you can put it with like chickpeas and onion. And it's kind of a stew. So instead of the rice, you use the burghul and you merge it with like a lamb meat. And on top of it, while it is hot, you put the yogurt and it's so cold. So you see, it's like kind of chemistry with culture, with taste. Yeah, we like to mix a lot. And what distinguishes Lebanese food is spices. We use a lot of spices.
Okay.
Most on top of it all, it's the 7 Arab spices. It's a mixture of muskatnuss, cinnamon, curcuma, ginger, black pepper. So it's like 7 spices. It is well known. In every stew we use it. As well, cinnamon. We use a lot of cinnamon with like bay leaves, of course, because when you go to the stew, it needs to take a lot of time. So the stuff are still raw. You need to hygiene stuff. So you use cinnamon sticks and you use bay leaves a lot when you put it for like 25 to 30 minutes so that it will be cooked on slow to medium heat. And that's something very distinguished as well.
That's very neat. And, thinking about cinnamon, here in the United States, some people use that on like the desserts and less in the savory stews. And I know someone who makes chili, which is ground beef and beans with cinnamon, and I was like, oh wow, I never thought about that. It's kind of associated with the dessert side. So talk to me about Lebanese desserts. What is that like?
Okay, Lebanese dessert is a whole level of different experience. Just for the fun of it, when you go to a Lebanese restaurant in Lebanon, let's say a family or a group of friends, you are like 5 to 10 people. You will see a whole table from top till the bottom full of food. Now you say, okay, basically because we have the mesa, we call it mesa, it's like the starter, the entry, which in Spain they call it tapas, for example. So it's the mesa, it's the Lebanese tapas, if you want to. It contains a lot of raw stuff, like raw meat, raw fat. You eat it with salt and pepper. So we drink, that's why we drink arak in parallel, and I will explain about the arak afterwards. Anyway, then it comes the Lebanese barbecue and everything. When it's time for dessert, the waiter will come gently and will tell you, good people, you can stand up now and shift to the different table. It's a whole other table with a lot of fruit. Again, because it's healthy, as I mentioned, we use a lot of fruits in our desserts. And then you have different desserts like baklawa. You definitely heard about the Arabic sweets. So baklawa, and it contains, now here it's not very healthy because a lot of sugar in there. But nonetheless, we have like stuff like muhallabiye. We used to rizz laban, which is yogurt with rice. Again, the rice, like you have said, cinnamon, it is used with not the sweet stuff, but with salty. And here you see the contradiction. Rice as well, we use it as a sweet, as a dessert.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. That makes, again, that goes back to the cultures that came, and we witnessed a lot of civilization. And we got a lot of stuff from the Ottoman Empire because it was the recent one and the most one on the timeline. So we got from them, actually, that's why I done a small research, and I found out that's why we use tomato sauce a lot, because in our stews, it's not with the white sauce like bechamel or stuff like that. No, it's meat or chicken with tomato red sauce. And I have found out that this tomato thing, it initially came from South America, like 500 before Christ. It was in Mexico or Peru. And I learned that from a friend who was my teacher, and he's a historian, he's a Lebanese historian, heritage and roots. And he explained that between the 15th and the 16th century, Spain came to Latin America and they conquered it. And like every civilization, as you leave something behind, but also you take something from the land that you came to. So they took these tomatoes and it came up to Europe. And from Europe, how it came to the Mediterranean, it's during the 19th century from Ottoman Empire, because Turkey, Turkey is like in the middle between Europe and the Middle East. So they took it, and here it was the introduction to that Mediterranean area that I told you about. And through the years, we used it a lot. At first, Europeans were afraid of it because it's like red and small. They thought it might be poisonous, like in the ninth cycle and 10th area. So now it became, no, it's a tradition. We used it a lot in our food. It's something that, literally 90% of the stuff I prepare, if you check my videos as well, you will see there's a tomato red sauce. So I dice a tomato, and as well I put tomato paste. You mix it with water. Again, go back to the herbs and to the 7 spices. And as much as there are stuff that is so easy, as much that is so hard, because like tabbouleh, it's a basic salad, a Lebanese salad, and it is a well-known healthy salad, and everyone loves it. It's like when you come to a restaurant, there's hummus, there's a tabbouleh or fattoush with grenadine molasses. So tabbouleh, if I tell you, it's so easy. It's easy. It's chipped parsley, fresh parsley, chopped onion, okay, and tomato, olive oil, lemon juice. But everyone, if he will prepare it, he will prepare it differently. And that's the amazement and the excitement behind it. That's why, again, we go back to the initial thing that I start with you. The food of the Lebanese culture is a celebration. It's a feast.
That's awesome. So what growing up was your favorite dish? And was there a certain holiday maybe that was associated with specific foods that you only eat that time of the year?
Well, I do remember, we like to do soups as well, but it's like in any different country, you have like winter time, because in Lebanon you have 4 seasons: winter, summer, autumn, and spring. So during winter, it's more like the stuff which contains a lot of calories. So there is something that we call mluchi and sbani. These are my 2 favorite during winter, because it's like spinach with chicken. And it is cooked again same thing with the rice and the vermicelli. We use it as well. And it is served so hot. And it's like we have our Lebanese bread, which is very close to the pita bread. It's a flat bread. Our common bread, it's flat Lebanese bread. It's very close to the pita bread.
Mm-hmm.
You heat it on the oven, and then it becomes like very dry, and you crack it on top of the oven.
Oh, wow.
And you put the sauce is like chopped onions with vinegar.
Uh-huh.
And again, it's you have that contradiction between what is the spinach and the chicken, which is so hot, and the vinegar is cold. And then you put on that bread, that shredded bread on top of it, and again, it's like it's an experience in itself. You have the taste before the taste, you have the smell. Then you have the taste, then you have the aftertaste. So it's so fun. I like it. I stick with it with passion. Again, I didn't study food. I'm no expert, but it's just the idea that I shift and I live alone, and I started to learn stuff.
Yeah.
Like again, that stew. When you see a stew, it's something so hard, especially for someone like who doesn't like to cook or who doesn't know how to cook. A stew, how could you compose that? But as an architect, again, I put my architectural cap. I design everything, and I tend to fragment it. I fragment it in 3 parts. It's so easy. First part is frying, so you fry. Second part is the main ingredients, and the last one is the sauce. So the first part is always you fry chopped onion and chopped garlic. It's like the initial flavor that you start with in the pan. Then the main ingredients. What kind of stew are you making? A chicken stew, a meat stew, a zucchini stew? So you put the main ingredient. Then we jump to the sauce that I told you about, which is what? The red sauce, the tomato, our culture, our red tomato thing. So yeah, and in parallel, you prepare the rice with the vermicelli. So, and now it became so simple, like you start to play with it, it's like kind of a chemistry as well, because if, for example, if you're using soya sauce, it's already too salty, so there's no need to put salty stuff in parallel with it because it will become too salty.
Mm-hmm.
So just build the experience day by day. Again, because I live alone, you start to discover this stuff. And what I try to do is I used to observe a lot my mother, how she used to cook for us at home. So, and I start to grab this stuff, and based on my experience and the flavors that I know, let us try stuff, things, and the different culture from Spain that I got, and here from Germany, for example. Here they use a lot of stews with the Wurst, sausages.
Uh-huh.
They like sausages a lot, and you see it like in soups. So that's the thing that we don't have it in Lebanon. To make a soup out of the sausage. It was something very different for me. So I started to think, what are stuff similar that we do in Lebanon? Maybe I could create something of both. And that's how I do it. So yeah.
That's awesome to be able to experience so many cultures, but have your own and be so passionate about it too. Thank you for bringing that passion here today to talk about Lebanese food and recipes. And we have someone here calling you King Joseph. That's a great compliment there.
Thanks, Bassem. That's a dear friend. But by the way, he cooks very good as well. He's Lebanese too, and you must taste his red velvet. He's a king in red velvet. Bassem, I'm still waiting for that. So
we heard it here. You can't get out of it now.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Joseph, is there anything else you'd like to share, about your culture, your food, recipes that are like special to you? I want to give this time also too to mention if anyone has any questions. My goal is to post this afterwards, so feel free to post a question. Tag Joseph. His handle is Asaf, ASSAF_Joseph. Ask him questions and he would be, I'm sure, happy to answer. So back to you, Joseph.
Definitely.
Anything else you'd like to add today?
Yeah. You remember I told you about the meza, the raw stuff, and the whole table. I would like to mention something, the drink, because we didn't spoke yet about the drink. So
yes.
We have a very quite traditional drink, which we call arak, A-R-A-K. So the arak, okay, a Sunday is not a Sunday without a family on a table with a Lebanese barbecue. So that's the typical fam bam Sunday lunch, okay, in Lebanon. So whether if you are in a restaurant or you are at home. Now, as I told you, we have the meza, which is like the tapas in Spain. It's like the meza in Lebanon. It's a starters. It's a bunch of French fries, like spring rolls, but with cheese. It's quite a mixture of everything. So
Great.
the thing is, a major starter is a starter pack. It comes with raw meat, raw fat. We eat that like with a piece of flat bread, and you spray some salt and some black pepper, and you eat it. So in parallel, that's why it came the Arab. The Arab, actually, it started in the 9th century. And in the area of the Abbasid civilization, you know, the Abbasid civilization, it's like the area well known on the south of Iraq currently. So in that area. You know, back in the days, Arabs were well known of their experiments in mathematics, algebra, chemistry. They were like scientists. So they were succeeding in chemistry studies, and they created a distillation machine, which leads to do something which we call a phenomena taqtir. Taqtir, it's literally translation, it will be like droplets. And that's how we make the Arab nowadays. The main ingredient is grape. So from grape, we make the Arab. And another major ingredient is the anise. You know the anise?
Yeah.
Okay.
It has like
anise is
here in the
something like
States we call it like a licorice taste. Sometimes they make
exactly. Arab is a liquor. Arab, it's quite similar to the anise liquor, but it's not the anise liquor. Anise is a major ingredient inside of it with the grapes. So it's a culture that our grandparents used to do it. We call the whole machine karke. So if you want like Karke, karke.
Okay.
So initially it has launched and started in the valley of the Bekaa in Lebanon and in Zahle. And that's why we use it. Why? Because it contains a lot of alcohol. So it's kind of, for our grandparents' mindset, it's like purifies and distilled our stomach because you are eating raw food, so raw meat and raw fat. So you need something in parallel to distill all that stuff. So, you know, you need a disinfector for your human organ, which is the stomach. So it's a mentality because it contains a lot of alcohol. So the arak, it's transparent initially. It has no color. And you mix it with water and it will become white, purely white, like milk.
Wow.
And definitely it is served cold. So you put ice on top of it. So arak, 20% arak, the rest is water of the top. It will become white. You add on ice and you will be having the best Sunday you could have. Especially after the 5th or the 6th glass of arak. So.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. Thank you, Joseph. And we had a question here. Could you repeat the 7 spices that are that standard in every recipe kind of stew that you make? Could you repeat those 7 spices again?
I could mention them. Actually, wait, I'll just 1 second. Give me 1 second. Wait. Because, again, I don't memorize them, but so to give a true information about it, it's cinnamon on top of it all, as always. We use a lot of cinnamon.
Okay.
So 7 spices. So it contains black pepper, cinnamon, ground cloves, cumin, ground coriander, and white pepper with allspice. And by the way, we use cumin a lot also as well with the cinnamon. Cumin is a basic spice that we use. So in the majority of our stews, we use cinnamon because that sweet taste, it's not like a lot. It's like 1 tablespoon. You can see with my videos. It's like really okay, we can make the same dish, but every time you prepare it with different spices and it gives an extra special taste. And that's the beauty of it. Because in desserts, that's why I don't like to make a lot of desserts. So in pastry, I'm not very good. But because you need like the exact weight of the stuff. No. With the salty food, it's just, I mix stuff based on the taste, you know, and it came up. And that's the beauty of when you have a passion of something. It's like you start to think and to remember how your mother used to do that. And sometimes you search on the internet. When you go out to different countries, you see different cultures. You see like they adopt such stuff as well. Yeah. They like, every country like to play with different ingredients. In the end, you will have the main course. So
that's awesome. And I see here our friend in Honduras is saying cumin is the best spice of all. So shout out to the spices of the world.
Cumin is amazing. Actually, we have okay, I recommend it for everyone to try it. If you go to my page, there's a video. It is called fattet hummus. It's chickpeas with cold yogurt. and we put a lot of cumin on top of it.
Ooh.
Like you can taste it while eating it. And this fatib hummus is again the contradiction. It will be served so hot. On top of it, you put the last layer of oil, which is fried, and with the mix of nuts, and you spread it. And then you add the very cold yogurt on top of the very hot oil. You will hear the it will be splashing all over the place. And on top of it, speaking of kammun, you will put the kammun. You will spray a lot of kammun. And that could be the best experience that you could feel ever, especially while eating it. Because again, that contradiction between what is hot and what is very cold, it's suddenly inside of your mouth. And it leaves an aftertaste that will be so, like you will be, what is that? I want another bite and another bite, and you will be end up eating the whole pot. So,
so make small batches.
yeah, not for me. I cook, if you see, I live alone, and if you see my videos, it's like in pots. I do always like for 3 or 4 people. So I eat like 2 or 3 portions, and I leave one to eat it the next day. So.
That is awesome. Well, Joseph, I think we have covered a lot of ground here, so much information, so much knowledge and expertise that you bring here from Lebanon, physically now in Germany, which is so great. And I appreciate your time here. Do you want to tell more, you've referenced your page here, watch some videos, to everyone watching and everyone who's going to watch, where can they learn more about you and your recipes?
Well, actually, it's just my personal page, again, because it's not something that I have studied. So I'm not a chef. I'm an architect, and I work now as a business consultant. So it's a different world from cooking. But yeah, if you like anything, you can head on to my profile, guys. You can see as well, I have like on the headlines, you can see the stories. There's my IGTV. I put some videos as well, step by step, how I make it. And you can see photos on my initial profile. And in the end, there's the guide. In the guide, you can see international dishes that I do, Lebanese dishes that I do, and all kind of dishes. So, and in the guide, it helps you a lot. You can see everything. And whatever question you would like to ask, it's just, we help each other. So if I know the answer, I could help you directly. If no, I could ask for. So, and my support behind my back is my mother, because she's the traditional Lebanese woman who do this stuff. And from her, I got these passions. So,
hopefully she can, if she's not watching now, she will get to see this and be proud of you.
Yeah, I will show her definitely, and she will be so happy. Yeah, I saw you. It's amazing. I love that. She's always supportive.
So great. Thank you so much again, Joseph. And everyone who's watching, thank you so much for joining. This has been quite a great conversation. So delicious. I'm hungry and eager to try some.
It's lunchtime for you now, by the way. It's lunchtime now. It's 1:30.
Yes, it is. It's almost 1:30 here. Awesome.
Yeah, I saw. I already tasted Joseph's mother. Yeah, again, thank you, Basim. Exactly. That's a living proof of how amazing it is. So, and it's the case for the majority of the Lebanese mothers, by the way, because in our tradition, like, they spend a lot of time discovering and cooking. And again, it's a passion. It's a passion for everyone.
Yeah.
Like the first sentence that I started was, the Lebanese food is like, it's an experiment in itself. It's a feast. So yeah, and on my turn, I thank you again, Jessica, for granting me that chance. It's the first live I've ever do on Instagram, and actually it's fun. I like it.
Awesome. And
yeah, hopefully we can meet or meet in person. Why not? No one knows. So yeah.
Definitely. So much fun. Thank you so much, Joseph. And it's so great to be connected with you on here on Instagram. Have a wonderful night. And it's just afternoon here. So thank you again so much.
Enjoy the rest of your days. And thank you, guys. Thank you for all the watchers and the participants.
Awesome.
Ciao.
Bye.